Welcome back to another video. This week we are working on the solar rack still, the new installation. You can see that's where we left off last week, and I'm going to keep this intro short, but I'm just going to get to town, start cutting some pipes. First step is getting these angled pipes cut to size and the new feet bolted through. So toss it on the head cam and we will get to town. That, I believe, is the entire aluminum pipe framing done. And now it's going to be, if that wasn't tricky enough, trying to get all the solar panels. I think I'll take the aluminum bars off and try to put them on with the U-bolts somewhat lined up, and then see if we can't do one panel at a time. That's going to be tricky though, because I have to put some bolts all the way back there. So one guy I was talking to yesterday had mentioned maybe seeing if they had an empty slip here at Bird Irons and backing into it, or even here, and I could stand and then, you know, reach the back. So we'll see what happens with that, but she looks really nice. I gotta say, I'm quite happy with how it's coming together. So it disappeared for several hours today. As you can tell, we've made quite a bit of progress. This morning I finished up the bolts, the bars. I don't know if I told you about that already. And then I got the front section on and that on. And then my buddy Daryl, he came over and gave me a hand getting, we got these aluminum bars on for the solar, 2 of them. Gotta wait for this one. And then he helped me get these bolts in the back of the transom, and then cut up these, I don't know what you call them, whatever, the bridle and the pulleys, the blocks that'll hold the dinghy. So testing that out, that'll be in of itself nice to have, let alone the solar. And still have to play with that a bit. So obviously we've got some temporary things set up just to see how she rides. And then the next step, what we're going to work on, we're calling it quits for the day, but tomorrow he's going to come back and help me again. We'll get the solar panels on. I got some nylon washers that'll come in for that and the stainless hardware, and we will see if we can get those set up with 2 of us. And then also we're going to try to run the wires. Not too shabby, eh? So a ton of silicone in there, and that kind of helps protect the wires and the silicone a bit. And then this protects the wires too from some chafing, that's what you want to call it on there. Have to run all the way up the tube through that, and then I've got a hole there for solar, and I've also got a spot I'm going to try to put a blue LED light eventually, another wire for that. And then you can see the Starlink hanging out there. Mount for that should be coming in here in 2 days, 3 days. Back down in my favorite place to be, the battery bank or battery compartment. You can see here is where our wires come through, right behind the backing plate. There's a better view of that for you. And now I've got to split them up. I believe the power and the Starlink are probably going to head off this way, and my solar is going to be routed back to where the charge controller is, obviously. So I'm going to get you set up here and see if we can't get this wire untangled, cut to size, and hooked up to the charge controller. And heck, I forgot to bring my multimeter, because I do think the way I set this up, those little plugs, the MC4, I think that's what it is on the end, they have a positive and negative, and it turns out that is the opposite of what goes into it. So I think I wired the red to the positive MC4 plug, and the negative plug actually sticks in there. So I believe this is positive and this is negative. So I'm going to climb back out, get the multimeter, and then just wrap a good 6 inches of length of the end, the red and black tape, so future me will know. So I'll see you soon. So got the wire for the solar terminated there. I'm running low on heat shrink and stuff, so it's all wired up. The fuses are flipped just because I figure I should be down here and test it in the morning with the sun, and I'll just leave it doing its thing overnight. So I need to get some stuff to mount these wires. I got these little clips somewhere. These little plastic guys. You can tell, and they got zip ties, but I gotta get some glue, I guess, to glue them up here. Then I'll run the wires, and I'll deal with that in the morning. I have not even been here that long, but I get frustrated with this, so I'm gonna call it quits and get some other small stuff done inside, picked up, go to bed, and start fresh again in the morning. So I'll see you then. So on a bit of a side project here as well today, buddy Daryl over at Birdine's let me borrow his car, and we are headed to Winn-Dixie here. Going to stock up on some more provisions while I get the access to a car, fill up on some water, and I got a long list, some canned goods, things you'll see here soon. But anyways, let's head into the store. So we are here in the grocery store. Got the first cartload full of items, lots of canned goods, some more dry goods, and then bacon, charcoal, shampoo, bleach, vinegar, peanut butter. It's going to be an expensive cart, but I'm going to fill this up in the car and then probably come back and do a cart of paper towels, toilet paper, and then another cart of bottled water, and then head to the Dollar Tree. So we will see how it goes. This is our before coupon price.
Enter phone number. Scan coupon now. Insert coupon in.
Alright, so that is the first 2 carts done. Gonna head back, get some toilet paper, paper towels, and then probably a whole nother cart of water, which we might just have enough space for. We'll see. So here are all of our provisions, and I think this is the majority of what I'm going to be taking with me. I already did all the dry goods. If you watched the video last week, I've got those stashed below just for now in buckets, vacuum sealed. More butter and peanut butter, tuna, crackers there, and stuff there I have to dry seal or vacuum seal. And then I'll take the cans out of the buckets and stow the cans in wherever I can. Put all the dry goods in there because they seal up even better. Shove everything in the back here. And hopefully that'll be enough food between catching some fish and picking up stuff here or there to get us by for 3, 4, 5 months. Optimistic on that. All this food, although it looks, you know, like a mess, I'm gonna have several days of waiting for weather next week. I guess here in 2 days whenever I leave the slip. And so while I'm on anchor, I can be doing all sorts of vacuum sealing and stashing food. That's kind of a time killer. This is the priority. So I can keep talking as well and killing time, but now I'm going to shut up and go drill a hole in the boat. So it's the next day. I am sort of testing the solar panels today while cleaning up and stowing all this mess. But you can see they're looking good. It's a fairly gloomy day. And this is the Victron app that tells you how the charge controller is doing. So I think I've got way more than enough solar panels, probably a little overkill, but it'll be nice. And I've wired them up to about 50 volts, so that way there's less current going through the wire. And then that's coming from the panel into the controller, and this is what it's converting it into the battery. So 13.4 and 13 amps going into the house battery. So pretty cool, nice app to monitor. I don't have to climb back there like the old one and check it. And like I said, just keep an eye on that all day. And now I have to try to reorganize this like I'm always doing. And this is all my food that I have collected, or not all of it, but most of it. I've got lots of canned corn and peas and potatoes, and these are all dry goods that have been vacuum sealed. So I'm hoping this will be enough to last me a couple months, because they say food's expensive down there, and best to bring what you have. So anyways, I will stop talking now and get to town picking up tools and that, and trying to stow everything back here. So really cramming everything back here. I'm leaving all the space in the front. Going to borrow Daryl's car again and go get a ton of gallons of water, stuff it in there, and we'll put some more small stuff up on top of it. But leaving the cans for now. Cleared out half of these, moved them back, and then they say you're supposed to remove the labels to keep bugs and mold and all that off of them. So I gotta find my Sharpie in all this mess somewhere. I figured that'll be a project at anchor while we're waiting for the weather window. So eventually we'll get those stashed down there. But I think I am just about to have their car ready. So we're gonna run the laundry in. The machines are broken here. Get some more gallons of water and then fill up the little propane tank too. So should be a good day. So I had a lot of you leave some good comments last time on the last video about the battery installation, and one of which was I had my positive and negative wire here on the same battery, and y'all had mentioned that running the negative wire to the opposite side and having them opposite from each other is better for the batteries because they overall share the load more even instead of all the load being on this front battery. So I did that. I ran the wire all the way back there. So appreciate that comment. And then also, y'all were talking about mounting. One of you had mentioned the fuel tank was so old, probably 40 years, the original one, that it's probably getting pretty brittle. You need to make sure the batteries stay off of that. So I did run some bolts, 2 on each side, through the wood into the fiberglass, so that's stationed. That's not sliding now. The batteries, I put foam underneath them, on the corners and in between them, so they are really cinched down there, not sliding anywhere. That is good. And then they're also not touching, but I went and put the foam here just in case they do happen to slide a little bit. That should help. So I think the batteries are real solid now. Appreciate those comments. And then the wire runs, y'all had mentioned using these little plastic clips. I've got a couple of those up here gluing, so working on the wire runs and getting that sorted out. But otherwise, solar panels are running great. It's nice and sunny today. I think the batteries really topped up yesterday, so I'm not producing a ton of power right now, but I'm just finishing up this wiring down here, cleaning it up, and yeah, that wraps it up for here. So it is a couple days later. I've been working on a few small projects, swapped out, new bathrooms, faucet there. What else? I went through the bilge, cleaned it. The little check valve had something stuck in it, so it was backflowing. But that is clean. Pretty much everything's stowed back here. The big thing I've been wanting to show you is I've got some new lights back here. And decided to go a little fancy. And I got 2 of these blue LED lights. They're 20 bucks for 2 of them on Amazon, waterproof, all that good stuff. Just to have some extra light to see back here at night, especially at anchor. And it's also fun. So got those, pretty happy with that. It just got its own breaker there on the control panel. As you can tell, the dinghy's up. It rained today, which is why it's angled to drain out. But I spent yesterday playing with these lines, getting it all so whenever the dinghy's pulled up, it doesn't move at all, no chafing. So plenty there. There's the other light. And what else? I found a outboard here in the marina. A guy was selling it for 250 bucks. I can get it to run and do a couple laps, but then it dies, so I think it's the same issue as my other one with a carburetor, but thought that would be nice to have as a spare, especially for the price. So I got another outboard mount. I'm gonna throw that here. And one last thing is mounted the Starlink up. So I got this pipe adapter in today, so she's angled up and all wired up, and I can, what's cool is leave that out all the time now, even while underway, and have internet at the flip of the switch on the breaker. So big upgrades back here. 2 weeks spent at Birdine's was well worth it for all of this, even though, like I said, delayed the trip a little bit more than I had originally thought. This is a great upgrade to have. The solar panels, even in the storm today, were putting out more power than the other ones were. So real happy with that. Big thanks to Birdine's. They have been very accommodating with me here. And so if you're ever looking for a marina, highly recommend stopping here. It's a lot less crowded than Key West. Decent rates, great food at the restaurant, a lot of good people. So big thanks to them. And yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Thanks for watching along on the new projects. Like I said, very happy with how they're turning out. Great upgrades to the boat, and hopefully the next video will be sailing up to Rodriguez Key, where I believe I'm going to wait for a weather window, and then from there over to Bimini and get checked into the Bahamas. So pretty excited, the time has finally come. So appreciate y'all for everything, all the support for the new solar arch. And yeah, that wraps it up. I will see you in next week's video.